Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Pikmin 2. Last episode we were making our way through the Bullblack's Kingdom dungeon, and this episode we're likely going to finish going through the dungeon. So, first things first, I should warn you that this floor, it's darker, but it's not really the dwarf orange bulborbs or the orange bulborb you have to worry about. They're not in the way of the treasure. It's this. You see that thing? Call Pikmin away whenever that appears. Get them far away from it, because that is a bomb rock. Now, that thing appeared in the first game. In the first game, you could use it as a weapon, and they were also a lot smaller back then. The yellow Pikmin could pick them up, throw them at enemies to cause damage, or they could use them to get rid of rock walls. Now, that mechanic is entirely gone in this game. Instead, those bomb rocks just appear as hazards in dungeons, often dropping from above. If you don't call your Pikmin out of the blast radius in time, they will all be killed by the explosion. However, bomb rocks can also be used to your advantage if they fall near enemies. They do a great deal of damage. They can take out some enemies in a single hit. Others, they'll just deplete most of their life meter. And for enemies with a lot of endurance, you'll see it might do more like a third or a quarter. Or maybe less, depending. I think different enemies have different degrees of resistance to bombs, but the main idea is to keep your Pikmin away from them. Your captains can take a few hits from bombs, but generally just stay out of their blast range. I mean, you can't pick them up using your Pikmin, so they're just a trap that you want to avoid. They don't always fall from above. There are some places in dungeons where you'll just find them just scattered around the area. One dangerous thing about bomb rocks is also if you throw a single purple Pikmin at them, it'll explode instantly without the timer, so that's one reason you want to be careful around them. Now, as for this floor, this is the largest floor of Bullblack's Kingdom. Typically has large maps that are generated for it, and it's kind of sums up a lot of things that you've seen in the dungeon, except for the stuff on floors 4 and 3. You've got fire jets, fiery dweevils, the bulborbs, bomb rocks, so keep your Pikmin away from those. They tend to mostly fall in corners or when you're trying to dig up treasure. Bomb rocks, honestly, probably aren't that common in dungeons in general. They are introduced in this dungeon, but they aren't really seen too often until the second half of the game. And of course, as you can see, the fiery dweevil is using its fire against the Pikmin, so we want to get it out of the way so that way it won't try and walk off with our treasure that we found. And I'm not sure what that what animal that skull belongs to. It looks like some kind of canine from the looks of it due to the front teeth. And I think it's called a colossal fossil. Neat little rhyme, I guess. Oh, we don't want that. I'm trying to keep them from taking that dweevil in. Let's see. Yeah, we have some crimson candy pop buds around here. They're frequently found in the Bullblack's Kingdom, but I don't know why you would ever need to use them. I mean, typically, you'll have more than enough red Pikmin for whatever it is you need to get done. And besides, if you're playing through this game using purples, then you won't have much reason to need that many red Pikmin either. Sure, there's fire resistance, but besides for fighting fiery Bullblacks, red Pikmin really can't do much. They're really not too useful for much in this game, unfortunately. But when you're not using them for combat, they're your number one choice. Like, for instance, normally I'd recommend using purples against this guy for obvious reasons, to just keep him stunned. But the reds were able to beat him without us taking any casualties this time, even. So that was really cool. Oh my god, another bomb! What's up with this dungeon and just stupid small amounts of bombs appearing when I don't want them to? Unfortunately, none of them have really hurt us that badly yet. And over here, we actually do have a preset Mittite horde. The egg actually bounced, so that was really cool. This is one of the few areas, I mean, this is one of the few dungeons of the game where there's actually a preset Mittite horde. The other one was on the 4th floor of the Hole of Beasts, although we didn't trigger that one, actually. So we didn't have to worry about it. Now, normally, and I'm going to let you know, it didn't happen here, but this is normally what happens. Normally what will happen, and oh, they took the dweevil into the ship, so we need to balance out the numbers. Oh well. But normally what happens on this floor is that Mittite horde will appear, and you'll throw a single purple Pikmin at the Mittite horde to defeat them all in one throw like you're normally recommended to do. However, what will normally happen is a bomb rock will fall in that same corner. This time an egg fell instead, so we didn't have to worry, but normally the bomb rock will fall at the same time you throw the purple, and basically, because purples instantly set off a bomb rock in a single throw, all your Pikmin will die, just like that. So, I'm warning you, this is a trap that normally happens here. We got really lucky and got a nectar egg instead. And I'm just checking my total to try and see, like, if we really have balanced out the number, and I think we have, so. Since we have both the treasures, maybe what I want to do now is get that violet candy pop bud over there. If I can sneak these Pikmin past the orange bulbor, because it's got to be done really quickly and perfectly in order to get this to work. Yeah! Alright, now because he can't eat seeds, I think... Oh, the problem now is going to be pulling them. Because as you know, he's just going to wake up as soon as we get close. I think I've got a pretty good plan, though. This is where 2 captains really comes in handy. In case you didn't know, when you're not controlling a pilot and you just have them on standby, like this, it'll actually, that pilot will have an auto-dodge feature where they'll try and avoid basic enemy attacks. So while Olimar is doing that to distract the bulbor, we can take the purple Pikmin, who are really slow, and sneak around them, because, as I said, I strictly swore not to use them for combat, even though it would be really practical to use them to stun the bulbor when you get by now. But I think, even though they're slow, we can probably make it past without any trouble. And now I'm going to call over Olimar, or rather, he'll call our party, that way we can get him away. Because although the auto-dodge feature is pretty cool, and generally it works quite well, if there are a number of enemies, then the captain won't be able to react too swiftly, and he'll usually die. And in case you didn't know, when a pilot or slash captain dies in a dungeon, you can't get them back for the rest of the day, even. So you're going to have to go through the rest of the dungeon with your single captain. And obviously, if both captains are downed, then what happens is, I'm pretty sure you lose all the Pikmin you have with you in the dungeon, all the treasure you have, and you're booted out. So, I mean, all the treasure you found in that run of the dungeon, and then you're booted out. So, pretty bad punishment. And now we're on the final floor. This is the longest dungeon, technically, that we've been in so far at 7 floors. The boss here normally will give you pretty much hell on your first try. However, he can easily be defeated by just throwing purples immediately between his eyes right here to beat him as soon as he appears. What we're going to have to do, though, because we're not using purples, is this. Emperor Bullax from the first game. Just like in the first, you want to throw Pikmin on the head and then kind of back off and call them back. And obviously avoid the tongue. The tongue is a lot faster in this game, though. But to make up for that, he is absolutely pathetic HP. Just like that. See? He couldn't kill a single Pikmin, and we've already defeated him. That's really all it takes. And even then, he's normally much easier. If you can believe that, he's even easier if you just use purples and throw them at him as soon as he comes up. Really pathetic. My initial report indicates that the giant Bullax spat out some sort of object. It looks fascinating, but it's stretched in that creature's internal juices. Disgusting! Oh, don't roll your eyes at me, I'll store it for you. So whatever this thing is, it looks kind of like a, looks like a transformer or some kind of robot from some kind of Japanese animes. It looks kind of like a bootleg transformer. Maybe it's a gladiformer. Because it looks, in case you're wondering, that is a real rip-off bootleg version of Transformers. The reason I say it looks bootleg is because, come on, they didn't even give the thing legs. It's like a Crippletron! I've been waiting for forever to use that joke. Forged Courage, that's its name. This material has perplexing properties. I'll try fusing it with this spare spacesuit. Processing complete. Success. Behold my latest invention, the Scorch Guard. Thanks to the heat-resistant alloy, this suit is now impervious to fire. What he's saying, basically, is now Olimar and Louie are completely invincible to fire, so we can't even be hurt by it or knocked over by it. Except in one instance, near the end of the game. Anyway, here, we're going to put that item to use, and actually get another treasure which is sitting on this floor. There are a few final floors which do have multiple treasures, as you've seen in the Citadel of Spiders and Glutton's Kitchen. It's not that common an occurrence, though, so don't get too used to it. So what you gotta do is first throw the reds up here, because there is water, which is odd because it doesn't list water as one of the hazards in this dungeon on the thing that appears that lists the elemental hazards before you go into the dungeon. It doesn't mention water, which is odd because it mentions bodies of water in other dungeons that has this as a threat. Though, of course, it probably doesn't matter because you don't need blues to get through it anyway. You just go up, get Olimar past it using his Scorch Guard so he can't get hurt by the fire, and then the Pikmin will just carry that thing back, although it'll probably take them a little while. So maybe I'll just cut ahead so you don't have to watch them carrying it back all the way. Alright, yeah, that took like a minute or so, and nothing important would have happened during that minute. And ironically, I think, yeah, this treasure is worth more than the one that Emperor Bullax held. The Gyroid bust. Gyroid? Gyroid? I don't know. Anyway, I know those things appeared in Animal Crossing, and they kind of looked like that, so that's why it's a reference to that. In fact, I remember there was a friend of mine who was watching this and said, hey, that looks like one of the things from Animal Crossing. And then he was like, oh my god, that's the name, how cool. And, Okay, we didn't lose as many as Glutton's Kitchen. Although this is probably a more dangerous dungeon than it. I guess I'd rate it 2 or 2.5 stars of difficulty. And we'll go back to Awakening Woods next episode, so I'll see you then.